Hello everyone, welcome back. So I was poking around the 26B release environment for Oracle Fusion, not for any specific reason, was just exploring to see how Oracle AI Agent Studio looks like after 26B release. But as you all know that I have covered in earlier LinkedIn post that what are all the functionality which will get released as part of this 26B release for Oracle Fusion AI Agent Studio. But there were few still additional UI changes which I could notice that they were not mentioned as part of any release documents. So this video is not part of any series, just a standalone video because I felt like this was too good to not to share, right? So I will be talking about 7 changes. There are some small changes, some genuinely significant changes, and I will be doing a live screen share throughout so you can see exactly where everything is as we go through it. Okay. And if you prefer reading over watching, I have also written full breakdown on my Substack post, which you can see right on the screen. So I was writing this post and then got an idea that let's also create a video for this for better explaining what are all changes looks like. But you can also get the same thing. It's just that there will be limited number of screenshot which will be there here with the details. But that Substack post is also there. All right. So let's get into this. So now I am in AI Agent Studio screen, which you can see. Okay, so if I just go to the home page, this is AI Agent Studio, and I am on, let's say if I say about this application, I'm on 26p. Okay, so now the first functionality which I want to talk about, that is app. So you will notice on this navigation bar at the bottom, there is a new tab there that is called apps. So what actually this is, it is more like a not a cosmetic change. This introduced entirely a new concept called Agentic Applications. If you have not heard about it, this was launched recently or introduced recently during AI World, which happened in London, UK, just 1 month back, I would say. So earlier what we used to do, we were used to creating agents, we were creating agents and then creating the agent teams, right? So we can have multiple agents working together, right? But now this app section let us compose those pieces into a full workspace for end users. Basically multiple agents working together surfaced as a single purpose built app. Okay, and Oracle also has created almost 22 plus agentic application as part of this 26B release. All are published, all ready for us to explore. There are a few set of accesses or the things which you have to do in terms of access these, just to show you, right? So what I can do, I can have these run, and also I can create, let's say if I just say I'm creating a new application, I will just say demo. So now I'm just writing them. I'm not going to create in detail, but that I will create in a separate video, but just to show you. And I will say update. So now you will see here this screen which will open, and here saying that you can take some inspiration from this or you want to start from scratch. So if I say start from scratch, then it will just say start from scratch. And here I can just add section. Let's say if I have some agent which I can use, right? So this will be a workflow agent, and I will talk in a moment how to expose those workflow agent to this agentic application. There are communication which we can add, okay, in terms of applicable agent template. There are templates which we can define from here, okay, in terms of action which we can take, the templates which we can define, like, okay. So there are a lot of things which we can do. And just to show you how the seeded ones look like, I will be using this cost accounting close workspace as an example. If I say play, it will open a thing like this. For now it's not showing because it does not have access, but just to show you, right, I will just try to give it to something and then it will say, and here it will try to load that data. For now it is not able to load due to some access issue or something, but here just to show you, right, one of the uh, basically section showing me that data, like let's say for inventory valuation summary which is there. So it is saying that this is for this, for January it was this, month over month what is the increase, okay, year on a year what was the increase, and then it is giving me gross margin trends also. So it based on what I am trying to get out of. So these are nothing but the multiple agents which got added over here, and that is providing this details. So we can build, there are a lot of functionality which are there. We can build charts and all the sort of things in this agentic app and then use it for the user. Okay, so this is just combining multiple things at one place. So that's the first functionality. Next is I will go on to this agent teams now, and what I will do, I will create a new agent. Okay, for now you can see if I just select supervisor, there is no additional change. But if I change it to workflow, now you can see there is a toggle which gets enabled, right? Exposed to agentic apps. So if I enable this, then I will be able to select this workflow agent while I was defining this over here, right? In this agentic app, I can select that agent. So that is what this exposed to agentic app toggle is going to do. Okay, so when we flip that on, your agent team becomes available as a composable building block inside that agentic application builder, and agentic app can discover it or wire it in, right? So think of it as like a bridge between I built an agent and now I'm building an application that composes that agent, right? So basically we are using this agent teams as part of that application. And when we can use multiple agent teams as part of a single application. Okay. Next is again on the same, I'm going to show you. So if I go to the LLM, earlier what used to happen, if you've realized or noticed in earlier release, there was a drop down which was coming, right? And we can select the multiple models from there. But now what Oracle did, Oracle changed this. Okay. We got two options. One is the default model, which is currently GPT 4.1 mini, and we can choose a model. Okay. So if we choose a model, then there will be a lot of options like others. We can choose 4.0 for 4.1 mini for sure, but there are other options, and we can add our own, like bring your own model kind of things using API key. But here we can select others, and then actually the part which I want to pay attention to is what appears below this. Earlier this section was not available at all, right? So this properties panel, there are three things to configure. The K, which is nothing but the retrieval parameter, maximum tokens configurable up to 32,000 tokens at a time, and then reasoning effort with the drop down that includes top P. Okay, maximum token K, top P. If you're not sure how this K and top P works, you can check out my another video. Okay, that is for explaining the LLM, how this K and P works. Okay, you can check out my that video. I will provide a link in the description. I built a playground for this K and P. I will also provide a link in the uh, description for that GitHub repository where you can use that link to see how this K and P works. Okay, so this was a change which got added. Okay, and now if I go on to the next tab, that is security. So there is one thing which I want to call out here. If you look at, there is new toggle, right? That is for all employee. Earlier it was not there. So by default, earlier we used to have this. If I need to have this specific access to that, I need to add the create a custom role and then add it over here, and accordingly those users are going to have access. But there will be cases like, let's say, general purpose agent, right? Maybe a policy lookup or knowledge assistant, right? That anyone can use within a company, right? So what we can do, instead of assigning a specific role or creating custom role, I can say for all employees, and this will be accessible by any employee account which has access to, right? So that is the UI change which happened. Next, moving on to the, again, I will just go ahead and create this agent. I'm just putting a random name and demo. I will say Fin, general ledger. I will just write description. I will talk about this in a moment when I talk about ROI dashboard, but for now I'm just moving ahead using this option, and then I'm saying create. Now you will realize there is a new node which got introduced as part of this 26B, that is the tool. And what this tool does, so when I add this tool node, right? So it opens this window. If I just say, let's say name tool, okay. And if I say drop down, so here we can see four options: deep link, chat attachment reader, intent change indicator, and a user session. Okay, and most important things are this chat attachment reader, because let me explain why. Right, earlier when I have to use, let's say if I have some runtime PDF processing which I have to do, I have to create an agent, and then with that multi-file processor tool, if you remember, then we have to use that agent as part of this workflow agent teams to be able to process those runtime PDFs. But now what Oracle did, Oracle provided this tool node where we can add this, let's say, chat attachment reader, and then we can say, okay, what will be the identifier for that conversation, and then it can read that file. So there is a toggle called parse file. So it means it will be parsing that file, which is on by default. And the another option is that get raw file contained in base64 format. So if there you have a requirement that you need to get data in base64 format, then you can enable this and get that data in the base64 format, which we need. Okay. So that's just a tool node, and here we have other like deep links. So we can add a deep link tool if I need to provide a link. Earlier there was no option to add deep links. Now we have that option to add a deep link within a workflow tool. Especially let's say if I want to give a message with a specific invoice link, if I'm creating an invoice, I can use this deep link and provide that link in the summary end of workflow agent teams when I can provide, right? So that's this. Next is this new button which comes, that is edit in playground. Okay, what this does, so uh, let's say we have any published agent team, right? Okay, let me open any other agent teams which is already there. Let's take an example of this one. Okay, so this is an agent teams. What I can do, I can go into edit and playground. Okay, so what is going to do, it is going to provide a window for everything, like the same screen which we get. And what I can do, I can run this. Okay, what I can do, I can save and test this. Okay, and on the right hand side it will see, okay, what is the input, what is the output, and what I can do. For now it went into error, which you can see, but what I can do, it will be useful that I can change this prompt, summarization prompt. Okay, and change the persona, change the LLM, change the input message, output message, everything I can do and change right here and then test it, right? Earlier if we have to do the same thing, either we have to uh, first test and then go back to the agent teams and then change the prompt or something like that, right? We have to there, because there are multiple screens from where we have to change all this, right? Let's say for system prompt there is a detail screen which is there. For summarization prompt we have to go into the LLM window and then we will be able to change for supervisor agent, right? So all those options were on the different screen. Now Oracle provided this playground where I can just plug and play right here on this agent teams and then test it right away to see whether everything is working or not. And there are two different uh, uh, input and output, like JSON and human trace or human. So there are different kinds of things which Oracle provided. We can see in the trace like what is the latency metrics and in terms of all those things which we have to do. And if we have to do this earlier, we have to go into the either evaluation set, put those questions and answer, then see what happens. Like so all those sort of things we have to monitor that earlier. But now what I can do, I can just test it right away as I am building this agent teams, right? So this is the most active development, I would say, because it removes the navigation friction that adds up very fast. If you ask me, right? If you're building complex agent, this becomes very handy to tweak our prompt to check what all things are which are affecting, right? So that's this. Next is, for now I'm just saving, canceling this. Okay. Now the another change which I want to talk about, that is under the credentials. So if I go into the credentials, there is a new tab which got added, that is the connectors. Okay, so this one is under very, I mean, we generally do not realize until we see, okay, this is easy to miss, right? But now here we have connectors. Okay, and what it does, we can add connectors. So for now we can, let's say, add, because Oracle released it for the SharePoint or the web crawler connectors, right? So for now I'm yet to see how those are going to work, but we can add those kind of things in terms of the drives using these connectors. Or we can add any sources like this custom agent sources, and we can add all these details. There are a lot to configure, but just to show you, right, this connector things which is there. Okay, and while after creating this connector, we have to create a tool also. Okay, so once you create that connector, I have to go into this and then create a tool to be able to use in agent. Okay, if I have to use in agents, then I have to create this tool for that given connector which I have created. So that's how the flow will look like. And next thing, and this is a very good one, I would say, the change which is there, that is the ROI dashboard. If I go on to the monitoring and evaluation section, I will go into this value. So these two tabs which got added in 26B, one is the activities, second is the value. So what this going to tell us, that uh, how much total time saving we have, how much total cost saving we have, how many total usage we done, what are the total number of agents which we used. Okay, like here you can see under this category we have two agent teams, and I can check what are those two agent teams, like these two are the agent teams which were used. And what I can do, I can change directly from here, time save each time run and run here. Or what I can do, while creating these agent teams, as I was showing you earlier, but not talk, just to show, right? So when I go into this, there is this section, capture estimated cost and time saving. So based on this, right, we have to put, right, how many minutes we expect each agent run to save. So let's say there is a process which we are trying to automate using AI agent, and we know, like, let's say in current, if I have to do this manually, that this is the time which it takes, let's say 10 minutes, right? So what I can do, I can write 10 minutes or maybe 20 minutes based on the process which you are trying to automate. And if there is a, let's say, if you do this faster, right, how much cost it is going to save for you. So for now, let's say it is $0, but you can change it to something, and let's say $1, $2. It based on your scenario, the process you are trying to automate, and based on this, it will automatically calculate and provide you here that how much time it has saved. Let's say we enter 20 minutes, right, in this. So you can see 0.2 hours, that is 20 minutes. So based on the number of uses, it will cumulatively add that amount for the total hours saved, and then it builds a very good graph over here in terms of, if you look at it for the given month. Well, now you can see like this, so it is standing somewhere here, right? So every time our agent runs, these estimates accumulate in the dashboard. It's not very perfect, but it's based on our own input, which are observed real time. But it can give a number. So let's say when someone in leadership asks whether this AI agent investment is paying off or not, and having these numbers, even an estimate based one, right, is definitely better than saying we think it's helping, right? So that's how Oracle provided this value dashboard. And then there is another thing which I want to talk about. As I said, that there are two tabs which got released from this. So another tab is activities. So activities very useful, especially for the triggers, okay, or the approvals or the schedules which we are doing. Because as part of agent teams, if I go, we can go on to, let's say, workflow one. Okay, let me go into the workflow. So I will just say this. I will just select anything for now. So what I can say, triggers. So here there are three types of trigger: webhook, email, and schedule. That activities tab will be very much helpful for this email based triggers, schedule based triggers, and the third thing which it will be helpful, that is human in the loop, this human approval node which we have. If we use channel as email, that's where that tab will become very useful. So what that tab will do, so for inbound email, that means if you're using a trigger based on that email received, so all those details will be visible here. If it is a approval, like human approval in the loop, like here it says initiated, right? So for, let's say, if triggers the notification, but it is not yet taken action upon, then that will be visible here. And then finally we have schedules. So if we have scheduled in AIs in Teams, then those schedules will be visible here. So that's how these two tabs which got added. So that's all the things, 7 or 8 features which I wanted to talk about, like apps tab, the agentic application, how we can expose workflows into the agentic apps, the toggle which we talked about, the expanded LLM control, that K top P which we talked about, and security basis for all employees. The chat attachment is the tool node which we talked about, and this ROI dashboard and the activities dashboard which we talk about. So each of these is a solid addition, but taken together, Oracle AI is it moving from basically a specific tool or the agent to building a full enterprise AI application platform. Okay, so all pieces are getting connected now as we are progressing with the releases further. So that's it for this video. If you found this helpful, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, where I cover mostly ERP and AI on this channel regularly. See you in the next one.